There's been a lot of talk about fairness over the last several months, certainly as the political campaign heats up. I can tell you there is a sense among people in this country that they don't have a fair shot. When they see things that have transpired, whether with their investments in the financial services community at all levels of government, beginning to hear stories about potential conflict of interest on the part of the people that they elect to represent them. And that's why I'm here today, is to say, it is unacceptable for anyone, any member of Congress, anybody affiliated with this level of government or any other, to profit from insider information or from information that is not available to the public, period. And people of this country, because there is this sense out there of untoward behavior, people of this country need to know that members of Congress are living under the same rules that they are. I am glad to see that the Senate is taking up the Stock Act. I hope that they will take the opportunity this week to strengthen the bill, to expand the bill, and to make sure it works. Depending on what the Senate does. If the Senate produces a bill that we believe is strengthened and something that is workable, that certainly will be something well received by the House. If it does not, it is my intention to move a bill, to bring a bill to the floor in February that does accomplish the goal of ensuring the public that they can have confidence that their elected representatives and their voices in Washington are not using their positions to personally profit. So with that, I'll be glad to answer some questions. Yes.
Can you go through how you think the legislation needs to be expanded? How it's deficient?
Sure. Well, I can tell you, first off, the bill does not adequately cover those connected with the federal government in the executive branch that are in positions with access and are privy to information that could be used to personally benefit those individuals. So we're looking at ways that hopefully the Senate can work on that language, strengthen the language so that the same rules apply to executive branch personnel that have access to that type of information.
Mr. Leader.
Yes. Yes, Kate.
I'll ask you a very long question right now so we can get past this guy. What do you say to people who say that this is a symbolic vote, that members already could not benefit from this kind of type of information, and that this is just kind of politically advantageous for everyone to be jumping on this issue at this point?
Well, I'll tell you, I've begun to read the book that I think gave rise to some of the broadcasts on this issue, and certainly I think that there is activity that exists that could certainly be characterized in a negative light and lend itself to the public's believing that their elected representatives are operating in a way that benefit themselves. So if that's the case, I think we need to make darn sure that people across this country know that members of Congress and others are not using information that they gain because of their position for personal gain. So again, that's what I would say to the people who may say, well, this is not a necessary vote. Well, then let's just make it clear. Let's make it the law that there will be and is no insider trading going on or trading on information for personal gain.
Mr. Leader, can you address for a moment, some people say, well, it's already unethical based on the basic ethics rules here to do this. What about that gray area where someone has, this information because they follow things around here and they say, well, that bill's probably going to move, that bill is not, that amendment's probably going to make it in, that amendment's not, it's not, proprietary information. Are you concerned about that gray area and opening up a can of worms if you guys move on?
Well, I think that the Senate bill, if you look at the manager's amendment, the language in the manager's amendment, it does speak to the potential misuse of that kind of information, untoward activity on the part of not members of Congress, but others that are in the sort of business of monitoring Washington. I think that in advocating in putting forth a directive to get underneath that kind of activity to really begin to determine determine what it is something that is helpful. Again, all this should be geared toward trying to ensure the public that the trust that they put in Washington is not being violated.
Mr. Leader, why not just ban all trading on the market? Why not have a bill that prohibits members from dealing in stocks?
Well, you know, one of the things, Dave, is to make sure that the public is aware of what goes on. And if you read some of these books, and the one in particular, it talks about the lack of timeliness of disclosure. And I've always been one for whatever the subject is to make sure the public is enjoying its right to know. And if you've got to wait a year to know what your elected representatives are doing from a financial transaction standpoint, I don't think that that is a timely enough schedule for the members of the public to realize that right to know. Thank you very much.